First, we're just aware of the floor underneath us, the solidity of the floor. If you like, you can close your eyes. During this practice, we're lying down, and quite often when we're lying down, we fall asleep. But I encourage you to relax your whole body, but to maintain concentration, especially on your breathing. You can bring awareness to your breath as it goes in and out, and awareness of the contact your body makes with the floor. So you can feel your head on the floor, your shoulders, your arms, your backside, your legs, down to your ankles. You're just aware of that sensation of the contact your body makes with the floor. And then bring your awareness to your breathing in and out. Many times when we feel a lot of stress or uncertainty in our lives, we try to think our way out of this situation. One thing we can learn and take out of today is to come back to our breath instead. When we don't know what to do, we can always just bring our awareness to our breathing in and out. Follow the breath, and our belly rises, our ribs rise as the air comes in, and then fall as the air goes out. So we're going to listen to a sound of the bell, and we can let the sound of the bell penetrate us. It means we just don't only hear it with our ears, but we also hear it with our whole body. We let the vibration enter our body and remind us to bring our awareness to our breath and to our whole body. So we are aware of our breathing in and out, and how the breath moves in our body. We can follow it the whole length of the breath. From time to time, we have a thought of something, maybe some work we need to do. Maybe our mind is still back in our dorm, something we left there. Maybe we're thinking about what we want to do tonight. We just let go of that thinking and bring our attention back to our breath. We don't push away the thought, but we just notice that I'm thinking, and then bring our attention back to the breath. And notice how different the breath is when it first enters our nose or our mouth, how it feels in the back of our throat, going down our windpipe, into our lungs expanding, our belly rising, and then the out-breath, the ribs compressing, the lungs moving the air back out, up through our throat and out through our mouth or nose. So our mind is like a train on a track. It stays with the breath, right? Our mind is the train and our breath is the track. And we want the train to maintain itself on the track for the whole length of the breath as it moves along. Now we bring awareness to our head on the floor. You can be aware of the contact our head makes with the floor. Be aware of the skin on our scalp. You can feel the air touching our skin. We can be aware of our skull, the hardness of the skull against the floor. We can be aware of how it feels inside our head. Maybe we have a little bit of pain. Maybe we notice when we look at our computer too much or read too much, we feel some pain behind our eyes, around our eyes. Or maybe we just feel clear in our head. There's no pain, no stress. We don't need to change how we feel, we're just aware of it. Be aware also of the muscles in our scalp, around our head, and just allow them to relax. We note any tension and then relax all the muscles in our head. If you like to smile, when you smile you can easily relax the muscles in your face. You smile, aware of our whole head. You can be aware of our forehead. When we think too hard, maybe our forehead gets all scrunched up, wrinkled. But now we don't have anything to think about. We're just here aware of our body, and we can relax the forehead. Just let any tension go right through our head into the floor. It's like we're grounding ourselves, letting the tension just move into the earth, into the ground. You can be aware of the muscles around our eyes that allow us to squint. To look at something. And release any tension in the muscles around our eyes. Breathing in, I'm aware of my forehead and the muscles around my eyes. Breathing out, I relax all these muscles. Just noting any tension and then releasing the tension. We can be aware of our eyes that allow us to see. We can see where we're walking. We can read a book. We can use the computer. We can see the trees, the birds, all the millions of colors. We can nourish our gratitude for our eyes that allow us to do all these things. We know not everyone has eyes that work. But we are very fortunate. We have eyes that can see the many colors around us when we wake up in the morning. And we know that when we use our eyes, we can also abuse them. They can become red and bloodshot from too much use or strain. We're aware of how our eyes feel right now, and we make the commitment to take good care of our eyes, to relax them, so that we can use them for a long time. We can be aware of the muscles in our cheeks, around our mouth, and our jawbone. And just allow it to relax. Our jaw, which allows us to speak, to eat food, to chew our food. Many things that we can do with our jaw and our mouth. We can be aware of any tension in the mouth and the jaw and just relax the jaw. We can be aware of our teeth, help us bite off our food and chew. Aware of our tongue, which allows us to taste our food and to speak, to articulate words. We know that our teeth are impermanent. We only have them for a limited time. Many people are older, don't have their teeth anymore, and some people have lost all their teeth, even when they're younger. So we make the commitment to take good care of our teeth, be aware of what they need to be healthy and strong. So now again, aware of our whole head. We just allow it to sink into the ground and relax. Be free of any tension. And we notice again, if we get lost in our thinking, we can just bring our attention back to the breathing. We can focus our attention on the breath in and the breath coming out. We're aware of our neck, which holds our head above our shoulders, allows us to see in front of us when we walk, is to stand upright. We're aware that sometimes when we work, we don't hold our neck in a very beautiful position, and our neck becomes cramped. We can always bring our attention back to our neck to make sure that it is free from tension. It feels relaxed. We can bring our attention to our shoulders on the ground. Our shoulders carry our bags around. Sometimes we hunch over the computer when we use it, or when we're writing in our notebook. And our shoulders become tense, become bunched up like knots. We can be aware of any tension in our shoulders and just allow it to gently relax. Any tension in the shoulders, we just let it go into the ground. Completely let it rest on the ground. We're aware of our ribs that protect our heart, our lungs, our stomach. Can be aware of any pain in our ribs, on the ribs on our back or on the front. We just note any pain or discomfort in the body. We don't try to change it, but if we notice any tension, we just release it. We can bring our attention to our heart. Our heart has been beating since we were in our mother's womb, day and night, bringing nutrients from our food that we eat and from the oxygen that we breathe out to our whole body, warming the body, nourishing our whole system, our whole body. We can be aware how the stress that we bring on ourselves through our thinking and our worry affects our heart. Our heart beats faster when we have fear, when we're angry, when we're irritated. But when we can come back to the breath, relax, be calm, our heart beats in a regular, calm, and peaceful way. We can also be aware of the food that we eat. How certain kinds of fats and oils can obstruct our arteries, make it difficult for our heart to bring nourishment to our body. So with this awareness of our heart, we bring attention to how we can take care of our heart, to make it healthy and strong, to exercise, eat in a healthy way, to take time in the day to rest, to let go of our worries, our stress. All these things make our heart healthy and strong. We can be aware of our lungs which expand when the air comes in and converts the air into nourishment for our blood, and also releases the carbon dioxide from our system out through our breath. We know that when we breathe in clear air, our lungs are happy and healthy. But when we breathe in toxins, our lungs have to work harder to nourish the body. Just aware of our lungs and grateful that they help us to stay alive. They help us to breathe. We can be aware of our stomach, all the food that we eat throughout the day, chewed in our mouth, goes into our stomach to be broken down and digested. Aware of our pancreas, our liver, that help break down the food into nutrients for our body. We can be aware of our stomach when we eat, to note what kinds of foods are easy for our stomach to digest. We can be aware of how we feel as the food goes into our stomach. Maybe we're aware of the food in our stomach now from breakfast. How does it feel to digest that food? Does our body feel well, or does it feel ill from what we've eaten or what we've drank? Can be aware of our intestines that further help absorb the food into our system. Bringing nutrients into our blood that are taken out to all the cells throughout our body, out to the very tips of our fingers, to our toes. We can be aware of how sensitive our intestines are. There are many millions of neurons in our intestines, making sure that we can digest our food well. So breathing in, I'm aware of my intestines and my belly. Breathing out, I relax my belly. Release any tension. Many times when we feel anger, fear, or sadness, we feel it right in the core of our belly. We physically feel it. Whenever we note that anger coming up, or fear, we can always just come back to the breathing and allow the emotion to relax. Just bring our attention from our thinking back to the breathing. So that anger, that fear, that worry doesn't become bigger. We can be aware of our spine lying on the floor. It holds our body upright. Holds our spinal cord that brings motor information to our whole body, our arms, our legs. All of our sensory input goes through our spinal cord up to the brain. Aware of the muscles in our back supporting the spine. We're aware of how we sometimes don't treat our back well. When we lift things, the way we stand, the way we sit, our back becomes weak and our spine becomes weak. We're committed to finding ways to making our back strong. Relax, but strong, so that our back can be healthy for a long time. We're aware of our hips on the ground. We allow them to just sink into the ground. No any tension in our pelvis or our hips. We can be aware of our legs lying on the ground again. We can be aware of any tension in our legs. Just let that tension release and just sink into the ground. We can be aware of our heels on the ground and our feet. Be aware of the hundreds of bones in our feet that help us walk, stay balanced, to feel where we're stepping. We have so much information coming from our feet. We know it can be very nice to walk barefoot, to feel all of the textures of the ground underneath our feet. We're receiving so much information from the ground when we walk barefoot. We can just relax now any tension in our feet. If there's any pain, we can note it. Just be aware of it. We can be aware of our arms on the ground, maybe across our belly, our upper arm, our elbow, the forearm, out to our hands, our wrists. Maybe we note if there's any pain in our wrists or in our hands. We use our hands for so many things, for writing, using the computer, for drawing, for picking up things, putting them down. So much information comes from our hands, but sometimes we overuse them. Our wrist becomes painful. We hurt our fingers. So we're just aware of our hands and we allow them to relax. Release any tension in our wrists or in our hands. In our whole arm, we just relax. Now we can bring our attention to our whole body. And we just gently do a scan from our head to our eyes, our nose, mouth, our neck, our shoulders, our ribs, the spine, our heart, our lungs, stomach, intestines, our arms, our hands, the pelvis, hips, our thighs, our knees, shin bone, heels, and our feet. And then bring a general awareness to the whole of our body. We note any tension in our body and we allow it just to release itself and relax. So breathing in, I'm aware of my whole body lying on the floor and relaxed. Breathing out, I release all tension in my body. And just note that my awareness is on my thinking, and I bring my awareness back to the body. And now I just return my awareness to my in and out breath. Breathing in, I'm aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware I'm breathing out. Thank you for enjoying this meditation.